The Sabu disc remains an intriguing puzzle from ancient Egypt, that 100%, symbolizing the sophistication and mystery of early Egyptian civilization. While its exact purpose continues to elude definitive explanation, the artifact offers invaluable insight into the artistic and cultural practices of the era. As research progresses, it is hoped that the further study will shed light on this captivating piece of history, and this was the article from Egypt Museum. We've got more. Let's see what Wikipedia says about this. Let's see if they... The Sabu disc is an ancient Egyptian artifact, First Dynasty. Okay, we know that. Sabu is the name, yes, of a high-ranking Egyptian official, after whom this was named, because I think it was found in his tomb, right? So it's part of his funerary kit. Correct me if I'm wrong. The artifact is made of schist, a term previously used in Egyptology for weakly metaphoric siltstone. Image representation. Siltstone, also known as aleurolyte. Goodness gracious, like, no, 1 out of 3 I was hoping would be easy to pronounce. Well, I guess siltstone, maybe. Is a classic sedimentary rock that is composed mostly of silt. It is a form of mud rock with a low clay mineral content, which can be distinguished from shale by its lack of fissibility. And before I forget, on the idea that this could be machinery, do remember that this is imperfect. I know it doesn't look like it, but if you look at it from the side, it's not perfectly symmetrical. So if this was machinery in the modern sense, it wouldn't really work well. Its central hole has a diameter of about 8 centimeters, 3.1 inches, which is fitted with a socket whose height corresponds approximately to the depth of the bowl. Yeah, I do believe that something would be inserted here, to be honest with you. I can see that. Again, I'm going to think something wooden. Yeah, I can see this. This does appear like something that you would want to rotate. Who knows? Maybe it has to do with production of grain. Maybe. That could be an idea. From the slightly raised outer edge, 3 wings of lobes are folded inwards towards the central hole, with the outer edge remaining in the form of narrow... Okay, I don't want to read Wikipedia at you. That was just to have an idea if they were saying something new. Oh yeah, there we go. At the Airbus Research Center, copies of the disk were made using a 3D printer. This is interesting, actually. And the physical properties of the disk were examined. The copies had aerodynamic properties and could serve as flying disks. However, due to... Well, I'm going to say this could be used as flying disks. So simply because you can use it, it doesn't mean that that's what it was intended. Its intended original purpose. However, due to their rotational symmetry or non-chirality, use as a propeller or turbine is impossible. Yes, because some people did think maybe it is some kind of turbine, because of course, once again, from our perspective, this is what it makes us think. But I guess this is a good way to see like that, yeah, that would be impossible. It was also shown that it was possible to use the disk as an oil lamp. Not that I'm fixated with, but this can be used as an oil lamp too. I mean... Maybe. I mean, what do you guys think about the oil lamp idea? I will leave a link in the description now to this, which is a PDF available and from ResearchGate. And the title is The Sabu Disc, a multidisciplinary exploration of geometry, functionality, and speculative origin, where it's an interesting read to kind of dive a little deeper into all of these speculative possibilities. And let's read the abstract very quick so you have an idea. Also, I'm refusing, as always, to read BCE. It's BC forever and ever. In fact, today is the what? 2nd of July, 2025, Anno Domini Nostri Jesu Christi. The Sabu disc, an artifact unearthed in 1936 from the tomb of Prince Sabu at Saqqara, Egypt, has captivated researchers with its intricate design and enigmatic purpose. We know the dating, dated the First Dynasty around 3000 BC. You see, they underline that it's cut from a delicate stone. So the fact that it's delicate makes me think that this cannot be used to have, it could have been intended to have any form of friction. Because if the stone, the material is delicate, it's going to erode and crack. And by the way, I don't even see the signs of it being used. Now, given maybe it was produced and never used, that's always a possibility. But I personally don't think. I can see it rotating, but the only friction that I could see would be here. So then why did they make these? Maybe so you could put your hands in here. Imagine it like one hand like this, the other hand like this, rotate, do it again, rotate, do it again. I mean, this is something I can see. So these parts don't have any friction. These are only touched by your hands. And the only part that is having friction is here when you have the socket where you put, I'm going to imagine, some kind of wooden pole. And what would be the purpose? Well, again, it could have a mechanical function. If it could have a mechanical purpose in the sense that you do this and then you're rotating more of these, kind of a bit like gears, right? One gear touching the other. And then eventually, as you rotate the pole, maybe the pole is moving something at the bottom that is doing something for you. And again, grain production would be my guess. But if it's not grain production, it could be something else. Definitely, though, I cannot imagine this being turned very fast. And once again, I can't imagine this surface to have to hit anything or have any form of friction, because this could be destroyed by it. And again, I don't believe the ritual item symbolizing cosmic or spiritual principles. Yeah, you can say that about anything. Here's me, okay? So this is an interesting read, but one thing I want to say about this, for the whole freaking ceremonial thing, okay? Particularly when ritual is better than ceremonial, I prefer it, but whatever. If you want to tell me that it represents as a symbolic of cosmic and spiritual principles, you have to back that up with some kind of text that tells me these are the spiritual principles we believe in. Better yet, here are objects, even if it's not this one, here are objects that we use to represent these, possibly made with a similar medium, even if it's stone in general, doesn't have to be the same. Then you can tell me maybe it's a representation of this, because otherwise you're just reading into it. You're reading too much into it. You're putting your own mind. It's like those situations that happened to... Similar situation actually happened much more recently with Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings. And then there is this interview that I've covered on my second channel, Metatron's Academy. Tolkien was actually annoyed at the fact that people were speculating already when he was still alive. Imagine after he's dead. Here is the interview, and I will put a link in the description below. He was annoyed by the fact that people were speculating, probably there is a symbolism between the One Ring and the nuclear bomb, the ones used in the Second World War, because the ring is a representation of fire, and fire is the nucleus that is destroyed and creates energy and the heat. And like, they went into this whole speculation, and Tolkien is like, no, it's not it. Not a representation of the atom bomb. Never was, never will be. Great. Now, he's dead though, so I cannot even speculate. That's the problem, that a lot of these writers and poets of the past, Manzoni, right? Alessandro Manzoni, Dante Alighieri, sometimes in those lectures at university, I would hear professors speculating, because here the drape represents this, and the green color is a representation of the inner vivification of the soul, as in springs, because it springs out like the seasons. And then maybe the author, if Dante Alighieri or Alessandro Manzoni or whoever, could wake up and be like, what are you on about? I like green. I like the freaking color green. It's my favorite color, mate. Even more so, in a situation like this, it's either you base it on something that we know, they told us about. It's something they do. I have a pattern. We can use pattern recognition, or just pack it in, please. Anyways, everything else is fine. I just wanted to point that one out.